Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you are having a glorious day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, it is with great pleasure that I share this news with you. The mayor of Birmingham, Alabama is getting married, and he's getting married to a single black mom. I don't know the mayor personally. I'm not from Birmingham. I don't live in Birmingham, but I have relatives that live in Birmingham. He's in the news a lot, and he represents well. He knows the city of Birmingham. He knows every area of Birmingham, and he knows what the problem areas are, and he talks about that. He's well respected in Birmingham by the business community, by the religious community, and by the citizens of Birmingham. His name is Randall Woodfin, and he is 41 years old. He was born in Birmingham and educated in Birmingham public schools. He graduated from Morehouse College with a degree in political science, and he received his Juris Doctor, which is his law degree, from Stanford University in Birmingham, not to be confused with Stanford University in California. He became the mayor of Birmingham in 2017 at the age of 34-35, which made him one of the youngest mayors in the city's history. He has fight in him. William Bell, who had been the mayor of Birmingham for a long time, had also been on the city council, so he was deep in Birmingham politics. Woodfin took him on and forced him into a runoff and won. So Woodfin won the runoff against William Bell, which was kind of surprising to the people of Alabama who keep up with Birmingham politics. So that ended an era in Birmingham for William Bell. Birmingham is a majority black city, but Birmingham is also the Old South, and there used to be a number of Confederate statues and monuments in Birmingham, in Lynn Park to be specific. But after the murder of George Floyd in 2020, black people protested in that park, basically fighting with the statues. So he ordered those statues to be taken down. And he also issued an executive order that you can't protest in public parks because it was getting rowdy up there, because Birmingham can get rowdy. One of his campaign promises was to address the food deserts in Birmingham. Food deserts are places, usually urban cities, where black people live, where you can get all the alcohol and cigarettes and tobacco that you want, but you can't get any fruits and vegetables. So on March 29th of 2022, he announced an incentive package to bring a food giant grocery store to an area he described as a food desert. The mayor says that he wants to recruit at least 2 regional, national, or local groceries to parts of the city that lack them, and West Birmingham is a high priority area. So he said a citywide supermarket program will identify potential sites, determine what development assistance is needed, and simplify the review process. So he is having some success in getting grocery stores to locate into some of those food desert areas. So he's been in office since 2017, and in his first 2 years in office, he budgeted $13 million for street resurfacing, $2.5 million toward clearing overgrown lots, which was a real problem in Birmingham, and $6.5 million toward demolishing dilapidated structures. We know what an eyesore those things can be in impoverished neighborhoods. So he has an aggressive policy toward neighborhood improvement and revitalization. Now, I go to Birmingham enough, and there's a whole lot of construction going on in Birmingham, and the city is alive. So people keep saying that cities where Democrats and black people run the cities are poorly run. I don't think that's true for Birmingham. This is a young guy. And one thing that is important is that the business leaders in Birmingham work with him. And I think that's important because he comes across as someone who has the city's best interest at heart. Now, crime continues to be a problem in Birmingham. Bull Connor, you know that back in the civil rights days, Bull Connor and his tanks and his dogs and his fire hoses and things and tear gas was just a terror for black people. But crime in Birmingham has not ceased since Bull Connor died. But the crime in Birmingham now is mostly in 2 areas, 2 black areas, those 2 areas where Mayor Woodfin says keeps him awake at night. So sometimes black people will joke and say, look like we're going to have to go back, look like we're going to have to go and dig up Bull Connor to straighten out Birmingham. But this mayor seems to be on the right track. Crime has been reduced. Gradually, it's going down in Birmingham. But these cities where crime has dug in, it takes a lot to root out that crime. I think he's gone through a couple of police chiefs. But he's still working with it, and it's not getting a lot worse, and that's a good thing. Now, one of his campaign promises that he made that he had to renege on was turning Birmingham into a sanctuary city. Sanctuary cities are cities where the city government protects undocumented workers from persecution and deportation. So he wanted Birmingham to be a place where illegal immigrants could come and be comfortable and not worry about having to go to jail for being here illegally or being sent back to their home country. This is Alabama. The white people are conservative, but so are the black people. So he found out quite quickly who his people are and how they feel about Birmingham becoming a sanctuary city. So that didn't work, because not only do you have black people looking at him side-eyed, but you also look at the state officials in Montgomery saying, we ain't getting ready to do this. So that didn't work. But a lot of what he's trying to do is working. The passion that the mayor seems to have to make Birmingham a better place to live might be driven by personal loss. His family has been stricken by tragedy. One of his brothers and another relative, either a nephew or a cousin, was gunned down in Birmingham. Gun violence in the neighborhoods. So he knows the problems in Birmingham, but he has the courage to work on the right side of the problem as opposed to becoming another menace to society. He's well connected in Democratic politics. Bernie Sanders, of all people, endorsed him for mayor of Birmingham. I don't know what that was all about. But he was also selected as one of 17 speakers to deliver the keynote address at the 2020 Democratic National Convention, and he did endorse President Joe Biden. So he's connected, and I think that he is a rising star in the Democratic Party, and I think this is one that we can rely on because he's been mayor since 2017, and there hasn't been any kind of personal scandal on Mayor Woodfin that I have heard about, and I hear about most of the stuff that's going on. So I think he's reliable, and I think he's one that we can at least give a fair listen to. Now, I've said all of that to say, this man ain't no chump, and this man ain't no punk. He's young, he's tough, and I think he's doing what is right for the city of Birmingham. And now he's getting married. Her name is Kendra Morris, and they have been dating since 2021. She is fine, fit, and fabulous. And oh, did I mention? She wears weave. She's the owner and real estate broker of Iron City Premier Realty, so she is a businesswoman. She is one of the many black women business owners in the United States. She is also the mother of 2 sons, 15 and 9, and Mayor Woodfin says they are amazing young boys. They are really chill, respectful, and kind. They're honorable and smart, and they love their mom. And she is a terrific mom, he says. He further states, I, as Randall, not as mayor, appreciate my fiance's motherhood and how she shaped the character of her 2 sons. I look forward to our blended family, loving her, loving the boys, expanding our family, and being a good husband and being a good father. So he's letting anybody know who has anything to say about this, that he is proud of this new family that he's gaining. Now that's a real man right there. Will the real black men please stand up? Well, one just did. He's a modern black man, so he knows what's being said about single black moms, but he wanted it to be known how he feels about this single black mom. And I forgot to mention this little nugget of gold. Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin, unapologetic, spending $100 million with black women-owned businesses by 2025. So black women are going to gain under this mayor. So he's not afraid of a strong, weave-wearing black woman. And looking at these engagement pictures, it could be that each one is submitting to the other. We could read it like that if we wanted to. And wouldn't that be great? Now, y'all have probably guessed that the reason this is so important to me is because this so-called manosphere really triggers me with this dragging and demeaning and degrading of single black mothers. Now, as far as this woman is concerned, they haven't released anything about her previous relationships, whether she was married, whether she's divorced, whether she's a widow, but she clearly has lived and is living a purposeful life. According to internet sources, this man is a millionaire. He's the mayor of a major American city, and he is well connected politically. So some might call him a high-value man. So I'm happy about this because I'm sick and tired of the dragging of single black mothers, and in the way that some YouTubers go and find stories about black men doing this and black men doing that. I'm going to look for stories where black men have stood up and stood in the gap for black women, because there are better black men out here than what we see represented on some of these social media platforms, and they have a story to tell too. What I like about men like this is that they keep their business to themselves. They're not out here talking about women and talking about how many women they have and how many women they can get and calling women thoughts and all these other words. They just keep their business to themselves. He didn't go public with anybody, I don't think, until fairly recently. He kept his business to himself. And then when he got ready to present somebody to the world, this is who he presented. Now, this is the kind of man that a lot of women aspire to. This is the kind of man that a lot of women want to attract. Now, Kevin Samuels, and I won't speak ill of the dead, but I will say this. They were following Kevin Samuels, who really was not a high-value man, and he was advising them against women like this. There was a video before he passed away. Somebody played this video, a black man, of a white woman pitching a fit on Kevin Samuels because they both lived in this boarding house, and she said that he was running up the light bill. I don't know if this was during the pandemic or before the pandemic, but she said the rest of them were at work and he's at home making videos and I guess cooking and turning on lights and listening to music and whatever he was doing, but she was having a fit about him running up the bill. So that's not a high-value man if you're living in a boarding house and somebody is ragging on you because you're running up the light bill. And somebody was ticked off in that same boarding house because his car was leaking oil. He was driving around in a raggedy BMW and it was leaking oil. And so he put a piece of cardboard under the car to catch the oil. Now that is not a high-value man, but that's who these people in the manosphere were looking up to, because he was willing to come on his channel and demean and degrade black women in the name of trying to help them. So high value is a subjective term in black YouTube. But this man is embracing this woman and her children. And apparently he wants to expand his family so they'll have their own biological children, hopefully. This story comes from Birmingham, Alabama, about people that are just local to the area. But this is a feel-good story for me, and I'm going to look for more stories like this, because I want there to be a different narrative about black men, because black men are not so narrow-minded and so selfish and so closed-hearted that they can't love anybody just because they were a single mom. That is the worst narrative that could be out there about anybody. So anyway, y'all, this is Mayor Randall Woodfin, and he is the mayor of Birmingham. He now has a beautiful and successful partner by his side, and I can only wish them the very best, and I do wish them the very best. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the story. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.